My vision blurred as crimson wine soaked through the silk of my wedding dress, the fabric absorbing it like a thirsty sponge. In that suspended moment, I watched droplets scatter across the pristine white tablecloth. The reception hall fell silent, the string quartet's melody cutting off mid-note. My brother Aaron still gripped the empty glass, his knuckles white, his eyes burning with something darker than mere anger. "This is what you get for acting like you're better," he snarled, his voice low but carrying across the suddenly silent room. Before I could process what was happening, Aaron lunged toward the dessert table, sending our 5-tier wedding cake toppling in a cascade of buttercream and fondant. The photographer's flash captured the moment, crystal and china shattering, guests gasping, my husband Nicholas freezing mid-step. But what cut deeper than the destruction was watching my parents rush past me, past Emmy in my ruined dress, to shield Aaron, their arms encircling him protectively as he trembled with rage. "He's just letting it out," my mother whispered loudly, stroking his hair like he was still a child. "It's been hard for him." Hard for him? The betrayal hit harder than any physical blow could have. As I stood there dripping with wine on what should have been the happiest day of my life, my father caught my eye and quickly looked away, his silence an accomplice to this moment. "My name is Olivia, I'm 30, and I was the financial backbone of my family. This is the story of how I reclaimed my worth after years of being treated like an ATM with a heartbeat. Growing up in Rochester, my childhood evaporated the moment I turned 15. While other teenagers worried about school dances, I juggled waitressing after classes and delivering pizzas on weekends, racing through snow-covered streets for tips that paid our electricity bill. My parents' diner was always one bad month away from closure, and somehow, I became the safety net. Meanwhile, Aaron, 9 years younger, grew up in a different reality entirely. My straight A's earned brief nods, while his passing grades triggered celebrations. My scholarships were expected, his soccer trophies displayed prominently. The contrast wasn't subtle, I was the provider, he was the prize. "Don't worry about Aaron's new laptop," my mother would say, her hand waving dismissively. "Olivia's got us covered." Those words echoed through my college years as I sent home chunks of my scholarship money and part-time earnings. Even after landing my software engineering job, the pattern continued. I paid Aaron's $10,000 tuition each semester. I covered his $600 monthly rent. I bought him a $3,000 car. All while funding my parents' struggling business. When Nicholas entered my life at a tech conference, his warmth and recognition of my value felt foreign but addictive. His family welcomed me without expectations, no emergency loans, no guilt trips. Just genuine affection. The wedding planning should have been my first warning. My parents contributed nothing but opinions, while Aaron complained about his groomsmen duties as if they were punishments. Yet somehow, I still wrote the checks, including $10,000 for a honeymoon in the Bahamas that Nicholas and I had saved for months to afford. 2 days before the wedding, I noticed the missing funds from our joint account. The bank confirmed the transfer to my parents' account. When confronted, my mother's eyes didn't even meet mine. "Aaron needed help with some debts. We knew you wouldn't mind." I swallowed my anger, telling myself we'd discuss it after the ceremony. After all, family comes first, isn't that what I'd always been taught? But watching Aaron destroy my wedding reception, seeing my parents choose him again while my dress dripped with red wine, something crystallized within me. This wasn't love. It was exploitation wrapped in family obligation. The morning after, while Nicholas slept beside me, I sat in our hotel room staring at my laptop screen. My hands trembled as I logged into my banking app, but my resolve was ironclad. One by one, I cancelled every recurring transfer, Aaron's tuition, his rent, the monthly deposit to my parents' business account. I dialed the travel agency next. "I need to cancel our Bahamas trip," I said, my voice steadier than I expected. "That's a $10,000 non-refundable package," the agent reminded me. "I understand. Cancel it anyway." Nicholas woke to find me curled in the armchair, staring at my phone. He knelt beside me, his expression questioning. "I cut them off," I whispered. "All of them." His fingers interlaced with mine. "Whatever you need, Olivia. I'm here." The first message arrived 20 minutes later. Aaron, his entitlement screaming through the text. "Real nice, Olivia. You cut me off." 3 more followed in quick succession, each more venomous than the last. I read them aloud to Nicholas, each word reinforcing my decision. You're nothing without us, the last one said. Nicholas pulled me close. He's wrong, he murmured into my hair. You everything. My phone rang, my mother, her voice shrill through the speaker. How could you do this to Aaron? He's struggling. And I was drowning, I replied, surprised by my own calmness. For 15 years. We raised you better than this, she snapped. A hollow laugh escaped me. Raised me? I've been raising all of you since I was 15. My father's call came minutes after I hung up on my mother. Fix this, Olivia, he demanded, his tone leaving no room for discussion. You're punishing Aaron for one mistake. One mistake. The bitterness in my voice surprised even me. I've paid for his entire life. I'm done. The silence after I ended the call felt both terrifying and liberating. Aaron's voicemail the next day crossed a line, "You owe me, Olivia. I'll make you regret this." I saved the recording, a protective instinct I couldn't explain. Nicholas suggested blocking them all, but something held me back. Maybe a misplaced hope that they'd understand. Maybe the need to witness the consequences of my decision. A week passed, filled with increasingly desperate communications. My mother pleaded, Aaron can't pay his rent now. Help him just this once. My father turned cold, family doesn't turn their back. Aaron's messages oscillated between threats and self-pity. 3 weeks after the wedding disaster, I agreed to meet them at their diner, the booth's vinyl sticky against my legs. The conversation went exactly as expected, demands disguised as requests, guilt packaged as concern. I remained unmoved. You chose him over me, I said finally, meeting each of their eyes. I'm choosing myself now. My mother's tears didn't affect me like they once would have. My father's disappointed scowl bounced off newly formed armor. I walked out, lighter than I'd felt in years. After that final conversation at the diner, Nicholas and I replanned our honeymoon, a $3,000 cabin in the Adirondacks. We hiked trails, sat by campfires, and breathed without the weight of others' expectations. For the first time, I experienced the freedom of boundaries. At work, my focus sharpened without the constant financial drain. A promotion to senior engineer followed, with a $20,000 salary increase that I didn't immediately allocate to someone else's needs. Sunday dinners with Nicholas' parents became a revelation, family gatherings without hidden agendas or financial negotiations. His mother hugged me warmly, whispering, "You're family now." His father's firm handshake came with a simple truth, "You deserve better." News of Aaron filtered back through mutual friends. Evicted. Dropped out of college. Working at a hardware store. A flicker of guilt appeared but quickly faded when I remembered his smirk as my wedding dress absorbed the wine. My parents' diner closed 6 months later. They'd leaned on me so long they'd forgotten how to stand alone. They called once more, not to apologize but to ask for help with a fresh start. I declined. I once believed love meant giving everything, I told Nicholas that night. But real love has boundaries. The final confrontation came unexpectedly 3 months after I stopped supporting them. My parents had always known where I worked, they'd visited occasionally when they needed money. I was at my desk when they ambushed me, Aaron storming into my office, my parents trailing behind him, creating a spectacle for my colleagues. "You're betraying your family," Aaron shouted, his face flushed. "You owe Aaron his tuition," my mother added, her voice piercing. My father's words cut deepest, "You can't just abandon us." My colleagues froze, eyes darting between us. I felt the familiar tightness in my chest, the automatic response to fix whatever was broken. But then I caught Nicholas' eye across the room. He'd been dropping off lunch when they arrived, and his presence anchored me. I squared my shoulders and faced my family. "I'm done," I said simply, looking from Aaron to my mother to my father. "No more money. No more contact." Aaron's jaw dropped before he recovered with a snarl. "You'll regret this, traitor." My mother's tears flowed predictably. "Think about your brother." My father's glare burned with a single muttered word, "Ungrateful." "Leave," I said quietly, "or security will show you out." They hesitated, then turned, Aaron's curses echoing down the hallway. The silence after they left was broken by my boss appearing at my door. "Take the rest of the day," she said gently. "And Olivia?" That took courage. That evening, I blocked their numbers and email addresses. The relief was immediate and overwhelming, like setting down a burden I'd carried so long I'd forgotten it wasn't part of me. They tried reaching me through other relatives and even Nicholas' workplace in the weeks that followed, but I maintained my boundary. Eventually, the attempts stopped. 1 year later, Nicholas and I bought our first home, something I could never have afforded while supporting 3 adults. My career flourished without the constant financial drain. We're expecting our first child now, and sometimes I wonder what kind of parent I'll be. I know this much: I won't teach our daughter that love means emptying yourself until there's nothing left. I won't make her responsible for anyone's happiness but her own. If you're carrying someone else's burdens, remember this: your joy isn't owed to anyone. Set boundaries. Stand firm. Choose yourself. That's the truth my family taught me, through their actions, not their words. And it's a lesson I'll never forget.